What's up guys, Digi here from ProNDC. Welcome to another ESO video. So in today's video I want to show you my add-ons, and not just my combat add-ons but also the other add-ons that I use. I will start with the guild store add-ons first because I just traveled here and I do not want to keep like traveling from house to house or from wayshrine to wayshrine all the time in the video. Yeah. A lot of people ask me in my videos like, hey, what add-on is it that you're using that shows the time in your skills? What add-on is it that you're using for your guild store? How do you make your UI look so clean and stuff like that? So those are the questions that I want to answer today. I will start with the guild store add-on first. So there's two add-ons that I use. You have an option for the first one. So the add-on that I use for like checking prices and stuff is Arcadius Trade Tools. I think it doesn't get updated anymore. I haven't loaded an update in quite a while, to be honest. The other option would be Master Merchant, but Master Merchant in the past, I'm not sure if it's still that way, caused me quite some trouble in trials because it kept updating prices and stuff like that in the background in trials. So what I recommend, if you run Master Merchant and you have some performance issues, just turn it off if you go in a trial or a dungeon or VMA or whatever. Just turn it off and just turn it back on once you get out. Arcadius Trade Tools still pretty cool, to be honest. And the other add-on that I use is Awesome Guild Store. So Arcadius Trade Tools, as you can see here, shows this window for prices and stuff like that, like average price, how many was sold over the last span of like 5 days or 7 days or whatever. And yeah, Awesome Guild Store, what it does is pretty simple. It just modifies the interface of the guild store. So if you want to search for something specific, let's say I'm looking for spell power potions, what you have to do is it's pretty simple. You click on consumable, you click on potion, and click search, and that's it. And then you have your potions. And if you want to search for a specific type of potion, you put on a spell, for example for spell power, and then you have all your essence of spell power. You can click here, show you all the other listings in the guild store, and it's as easy as that. It's pretty cool. If I want to look for weapons, for example, I just click here, click my type of weapon. For example, I'm looking for a dagger. So then I click on one-handed, then I click on dagger here, and then I can type the set name. What you can also do is like adjust the quality, it's like just make it only epic and blue. And you can search for certain daggers. You can also, of course, type in the set name to look for specific stuff, and then you can also choose the weapon traits here. So it's much easier than to like compared to like picking stuff out from a drop-down menu. So this makes it much more simple for me to look for stuff. Oh yeah, sometimes people are a bit confused and do not know how to get to the glyphs. If you have a glyph in your inventory, it's listed under the same name, so you just click here and then you can click on glyphs, go to jewelry glyph, let's make it gold, click search, and there you are. Pretty simple, to be honest. And those are the two guild store add-ons that I use for trading and stuff like that. But yeah, make sure you are in a trading guild. If you're not in a trading guild, like I am, because I forgot to put my motifs in the guild store that I farmed. I didn't sell anything for a week and I got kicked. So otherwise you'd have some prices here, or you still have some prices here. You can see like 32 sales, 3,660 items. So you see the average price of essence of spell power is 92.5 gold. Same here for sticky pork and radish noodles. I think it still saves the last values, but yeah, you need to be in a guild, in a trading guild, to get the average prices. So for the UI, I will just do the following. I'll just go to Synaxu's house, poor Synaxu. Always abusing his target skeleton for my videos. I'm really sorry. I'm just happy he doesn't charge me a fee. So for my UI, I use the following add-ons. I use Dark UI. Dark UI is the one that makes my inventory darker, my menu, and basically everything. It also makes my unit frames a little bit darker. What I mean by darker in the inventory, it's like this. You see, it's a little bit transparent here, but a little bit darker here in the middle, and the same, of course, here on the left side. And then it also changes the color of my unit frames, and also, of course, here my render a little bit. Especially the borders here on the outside get darker with dark UI. So dark UI is what I use. That's the add-on right here. And on top of that, I use clean action bar borders. So the borders here on the skills are generated by clean action bar borders. Really good add-on. It looks much cleaner to me, and I just personally prefer it that way. So that's how I adjusted the looks of my stuff. To center my unit frames, I used the add-on LUI Extended. I only use LUI Extended for centering the unit frames. A lot of people think that I use Astra, but I've never used it. With Astra, you can basically move and customize everything a bit more freely, because I think you can also like move the notification for activating synergies and stuff like that. So Astra, I don't use that. You could use that, of course, but I just use LUI Extended for this and for the target frame. You can see to the right side of my character, I see the robust limit target centurion. That's because I use LUI. So I only use it for the target frame here, the raid boss frame. So whenever I'm in a PvE raid, I see the boss's name here with the HP. Even if I do not look at him, I still see the boss's HP. So if I have to take care of mechanics, kill something else, I still see the boss HP. Which is really great, especially if you have bosses that are split up, like in VHOF, the first boss or the fourth boss. You see the individual HP numbers and percentages, and that's really good. So how do you achieve this here in LUI without having this extra custom unit frame, which is like basically that's this rectangle. Let me show it to you. It's pretty simple, to be honest. Like, you go to LUI Extended. So because I do not want to have the damage numbers, the scrolling combat text, I just disabled it. I do not want the buffs. I personally hate the LUI buffs because I cannot filter them. It will just show every buff that I have and every debuff the enemy has, and it's just like too much. I want to have a really clean UI, so I turned that off. Chat announcements, it's up to you. You can see what people loot. You can see what what XP you get, and sometimes if people are whispering you and you're like grinding and you're killing a ton of stuff, it will show the XP here in the bar. You can, of course, turn that off here in chat announce. So you can customize it however you want. I just have to turn off the experience stuff. It's a little bit annoying, to be honest. And yeah, I have combat info on. I have unit frames on. Combat info, what I turned off is the global cooldown. Otherwise, like, it will show like an animation for the skill cooldown. I do not need that, to be honest. So I turned that off, but ultimate tracking is on, and bar ability highlight options. So when I have a shield active, it just highlights it. So like, hey, the skill is active, or your blade cloak is active. As you can see here, it puts like a frame around it, tells you, hey, the skill is still active. Yeah. Also works with ground areas, of course. Yeah, even when I switch bars, it shows like, hey, this is still active. So this is the combat info. And then for unit frames. So what you want to do to center the default frames is reposition default player frames. Just turn it on and you're good to go. If you want to get rid of that custom unit frame, just that shows like the bar of health, magic, stamina here, just go to custom unit frames, player and target, and turn the player frame off. So turn it to off, leave target on if you want to. And what I also have turned on is the boss frame here. I turned off the raid frame, I turned off the group frame, so I just have the default frame on the top left corner, of the game, just a regular default frame. So this is how I set up my LUI. It's pretty simple. And the status panel, I just dragged it here. It just shows like how much time is still left until you can improve your writing skill, your ping, your FPS, your armor value, so you know when to go repair, and also your enchantment status. So if your enchantment is running out, you know, like this is your front bar or your top bar, and this is your bottom bar, your back bar. And then you can like re-enchant. And it also shows how many soul gems you've left and your inventory space and the current time. So that's pretty cool. Just turned it on, dragged it there, and yeah, that's pretty much it. For the numbers in my skills, what I use here is Exhilaration Reminder. So Exhilaration Reminder shows me the number in the skill, like how long is still left. That's pretty cool, and especially on the Nightblade, it also counts your bow light attacks. So if you like cast Merciless Resolve or Relentless Focus, it will count the light attacks you have until you proc the Spectral Bow. That's pretty cool. So yeah, Exhilaration Reminder. Usually Exhilaration Reminder will show you a switch bar. Oh, I don't know how it's called, to be honest. So a second bar that will like pop up on top of your normal skill bar. So like when I cast my Deadly Cloak and I bar swap, the skill would move up here. So you see like, hey, it's still running on your other bar. I didn't want that because I have my Strandar buff tracker, so I just turned it off. But it also counts your light attacks for your Spectral Bow. Sometimes it's a little bit buggy. That's why I decided to customize Strandar a little bit. I do not like that Strandar like shows me all my like my debuffs here on the my buffs on the top right, and or my buffs on the top bottom right, debuffs on the top right, and whatever. Like it's just too much. So I turn it all off. So you go to your add-ons, you go to you get your settings, go to add-ons and Strandar, and then in general settings, I just like short buffs don't display it. Long buffs don't display it. Minor buffs I do not display it. Toggle buffs like yeah, I do not display it. Only my ground AoEs and my target debuffs, those are the ones that I track. You can press unlock, of course, to move stuff. So I have my bar 8 here, my bar 9 here, my bar 4 here. You can lock it again, of course. And what I use to customize it even more is the filters option. So I have my global aura blacklist. Back then in Homestead, when I played a lot with Burning Spellweave, the burning status effect was a little bit annoying, and also the effect of the VMA staff. So what I did was I put the status effects here. These are, of course, here in German. You can just type it in English. It's really simple. This is from my VMA staff. This is my trap, because it always displayed 2 debuffs whenever the trap recasted itself, and then like, yeah, it was a little bit annoying. This is the burning status effect, and this is again Beast Trap. I just put it here on the blacklist, so it won't display any of these debuffs or auras at all, which is of course really cool. Like whenever you put a blockade down, it always showed the set bonus of the VMA staff on top of it, and was a little bit annoying. Like I do not want to track it. I know that it's active at the same time whenever I put down the blockade when I use a VMA staff, so it's just stupid to have an extra display of it. And what I then do to track certain abilities is the whitelist. So you have 2 different whitelists. I can assign whitelist 1 to one of my bars, and I can put whitelist 2 on a different one here. So for whitelist 2, what I have are special ones like the Shadow Blessing and the Lunar Blessing from Moondancer, my Relentless Focus or my Merciless Resolve. Those are the ones that I track in an extra bar on top of my HP bar. So I always have it focused, and then I can see my light attacks on my Nightblades and shoot the Spectral Bow more consistently. yeah, so that's my surrender settings. Then what I also, of course, have on my White Swan is my Minor Berserk and my Warhorn. But this is really beneficial if you are healing, and you can see like, okay, yeah, at this point I have to use my Warhorn, and at this point I have to recast Combat Prayer to keep Minor Berserk up on my group more. It's really important. But as a DD, it's also really cool, because then I can see on top of my wow, I can see on below my ground effects, like if I have Combat Prayer on me, so you can like tell like hey, my healer's like, hey, I didn't get a lot of Combat Prayer. Could you look into that and yeah, and try to adjust it so I can up my DPS. It's really cool. So yeah, that's basically how it works. By the way, if you have issues typing the numbers in here, typing the names in here, like really make sure you don't do any spelling errors. There is an option. I actually have to look it up. General options. Is it here? Yeah. If you want, what you can do is enable display of aura's ability ID. You can turn that on, and when you do that, you see the number. So if you want to set up custom bars with the whitelist, and only want to track certain things, you can use you have to turn that on. You can see here minor breach 68589. Yeah, if you want to track only minor breach but not like power of the light itself, or only power of the light, and say like, hey, you want to have minor breach and minor fracture on your blacklist, just write down the numbers that you see there, and then what you can do is go to your add-ons. Wow, what the hell? Scroll up, go to filters, go to blacklist, and then you write the IDs here, and then it will not display them anymore. You do not have to write the name, you can do it with the IDs. Sometimes with the names it's not working for whatever reason, or you have to choose the name of the skill when it's unmorphed. Sometimes it's working like that, but with the IDs it should be working. So like general settings, scroll down to debug options, and then just turn it on. Look at the IDs that you want to track or you want to blacklist, and then yeah, that's how it works. Pretty simple. Of course, then again for surrender, what I did to make it bigger is go to your aura display, click on the certain bar, and then adjust here window scale. I just maximized it, maximize the window scale, set icon only, whatever. So you can like adjust everything here, adjust colors if you need to. Yeah, you can adjust the colors here. Of course, if you choose only icon, then it won't display any colors here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Is there another add-on? Yeah, there's actually some other add-ons that I want to show. First one is Superstar. So I get asked about this add-on quite a bit because I use that to show my current setup on my stream. So Superstar is an add-on that can show you everything. It shows you how many attribute points you used for stamina, health, or magicka, what wonderstone you have, if you're a vampire, your general stats unbuffed, the regular buffs that are currently active, your skills, of course, all your champion points, all the set bonuses with all traits, and of course if it's just medium or one heavy, one medium, one five light or whatever, how many set bonuses are currently active on that bar. And on top of that, you can actually use it to also save templates. You can use it to save your champion points and load it. That also, of course, costs 3,000 gold. I never used it, to be honest, because I don't need to adjust my CP mid-rate. It's just I don't need that. So I've heard that it's a little bit buggy. So you have to try it out yourself. I never used the respec option here. Yeah, so you have to try it out yourself. Just what you have to do once you download Superstar is go to your controls, scroll down to Superstar, which is here, and then just address it to, no, like assign one button here, which I did, and then it opens my superstar and displays everything. Another add-on that I use to analyze my parsers is, of course, comment metrics. You have to do the same thing. Go to your controls for comment metrics, like toggle file report, I have that on 4. Post single and multi-target DPS, I have that on 6. So I just press 4 when I want to check something like damage that I've done. Yeah, and then you can see like how many times my skill is critically hit and stuff like that, and like all my buffs, and or check the debuffs on the boss. Yeah, if you want to check debuffs on the boss, you have to click the name of the boss, and then you see it. And you can also see healing done, healing received, damage received, and then you'll have the full combat log. So yeah, that's pretty much it for combat metrics. The other add-on that I use is dressing room. Dressing room, pretty simple. You can also assign numbers to quickly use certain setups. So I have like Hundings VO Winner plus Infused, and I have Hundings VO Prismatic with Precise. So I have an Infused Prismatic Glyph and a Precise offhand, and I can just like click on it or use the buttons on my keyboard to quickly use them. However, keep in mind you cannot use dressing room once when you're in combat. You can open it, but when you're in combat and you try to change your gear, it would tell you like you cannot change gear during combat. So you also just have to go to controls, dressing room. It's somewhere here. Yeah, dressing room, and just assign all the keybinds, and you're good to go. And here, when you click here, it says like click to dress this gear set, or shift plus click to save it, or control plus click to delete. Same for here, shift plus click or control plus click, and then you have to switch to swap bars, and you can do the same here. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. I prefer it over Alpha Gear because like Alpha Gear seems to cause some bugs sometimes and doesn't properly yeah, put on your gear sometimes. That can be a little bit of an issue at some points, but whatever. So that's pretty much it for my add-ons. I tried to cover all of the add-ons that I currently use. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section down below. And if you liked the video, make sure to hit the like button. And I hope you tune in next time too. So until then, bye bye.